Hi, this is a very quick video about how to use this composing template in Finale, regardless of your project or homework assignment. So basically, the first thing you got to know is that Finale allows you to hide staves. So I have some staves showing here, and you'll notice I have fewer staves showing here. So the first thing you need to learn is the shortcut to go between the two views. The two views are page view, which is this, and scroll view, which you get to by doing Command plus E. Then you see all the potential staves. You could even add staves and hide them. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So the reason I do this is so you can add elements. You could add drums here. You could add different things, but you don't always have to show them. That way you could be working more almost like in a lead sheet format if you want to, and keeping things more condensed. But then when you need to add chords or whatever, you can go Command E again and add your voicings. Now, I kept the staves showing here in the beginning just so that you could, so you would be aware that the staves are there. But again, you can hide them. So let's learn how to hide them. When you're ready to hide things, if you want to hide them, you go to the staff tool. It looks like this. If you don't see this, you go to Window, and you choose Main Tool Palette so that you can see these tools. Or you can go to the Tool menu and choose Staff Tool. So in the staff tool, there's a command called hide staves. And you simply can click on a stave, or you can select a whole stave. Control click while you're in that tool and navigate to where it says force hide staff collapse. That's the one you want. If you see one that says force hide staff cutaway, you don't want that because that won't give you any more space. But look what happens to my bass clef when I hit this. It disappears, right? So you can hide anything, and then if you want to show something, what you do is you go here and say you wanted to start showing these drums, you would just click, and then you would just do clear staff styles from score and parts, and then the drums would become visible. You probably don't need to do that though for a harmony project. Okay, so now we talk about how to use the next big element of this is that you can do harmonic and melodic analysis. So let's do a quick chord progression here. So here's a C major 7 chord. Now I'm going to go to an A7 chord. I'm going to quickly enter this. And I'm going to have a little melody note here. And then I'm going to go to, say, a D minor chord here. Okay, and let's get rid of that extra note. Let's put that as an A. Okay, here we go. So we have a little chord progression here. So how do we label this? We go to the chord tool. It looks like that. Click, type C major 7. If you want to do the tension, you do parentheses 9 parentheses, and if it's not in the library, you just click yes, and then it will add it to the library. The next one is an A7, capital A7, hit return, and finally D minor 7 with a 9. And actually there is no 9, but let's just pretend there is. I'll let it have a 9. There we go. Okay, so we've got our chord symbols. Now to do analysis, you go to the expression tool. It looks like this. You double click, and you see under the, it may not be visible right away, but if you go to Roman numerals, you'll see the Roman numerals. And some of the Roman numerals have little blue numbers. That means they're shortcuts, okay? If you don't see shortcuts, then you can just choose the symbol that you want. Like I could just be here and just choose 1 major 7. Okay, but I can also choose it by doing the shortcut. Let me show you the shortcut. The shortcut is to hold down the number 1 and click. And there it is. So all the diatonic chords are numbered 1 through 7. So I can hold down 2 and click and get 2 minor 7. Now the secondary dominants don't have shortcuts, so you have to double click and find them or create your own. If you have trouble finding something, you can just quickly create it by just going here. Like say I wanted to make something, I just create Roman numerals and I type it in. You know, if I wanted 5, 7, 4 or something, I could just type it in, and and then it would be entered in the library, and then I could use it that way too. So that's how we do that part of analysis. The other part of the analysis is that we have an arrow, which is 8 and we have brackets, which are 9. So if you want to do a 2-5 or something. Okay, that's how we do harmonic analysis. The last thing that you can do with this, in addition to hiding staves and doing harmonic analysis and doing chords, is to do chord scales. The way you do that is certain measures are pre-formatted for chord scales. So starting here, all of these measures are pre-formatted for chord scales. If you want more chord scales, you would go to the end of this. I don't think you would need more than this, but if you do, you go to the end and you would just be on this selection tool here and control click and choose add, and every measure you add would be formatted like this. However, if you want more music measures, you need to add them here. Don't add them from there. So you would do this and add them at this point, and then they would push these out of the way and you would have more music measures there, and they're formatted to be in 4/4. Of course, you can change time signatures with the time signature tool. All these kinds of things are fairly intuitive. But last but not least, to put in the notes, in the chord scale formatting, you can put in whole notes. So say I wanted to put in an E Phrygian scale, I would put in all my notes, my 8 notes of my scale, including the upper octave. Oops. Just put them in. And by the way, you can enter notes by typing letters. Like I could type a D for this, I could type an E and get the notes that way. Now you'll notice that this one looks different, and that's because it had the thing that I'm about to show you already engaged, so I'll undo that. All right, so initially it would look like this. You would then label it with this thing called the lyric tool right here. Click on the note and simply start typing 1, S flat 2, flat 3, T11, 5, S flat 6, and flat 7. Oops, I think I got off. I see what happened is I actually had my notes in the wrong place. Let's fix that. And now we'll put in our final octave there. And here we go, 1. Okay. Now we've got our labeling. Now the final stage is that we have to make the harmonica void notes be solid note heads. That's the protocol for that. And the way you do that is, again, going back to that staff tool that looks like the treble clef. Once you're there, all you have to do is click and drag over the note that you want to make into a solid note head and hit the letter S, and it will turn it to solid note head. So that's it. Those are all the basic skills that are unique to this template. In addition to that, of course, you have to put in your notes and everything. I'm just going to share with you one more playback shortcut. Often in Finale, going to the window menu, you choose this thing that's called Playback Controls, and it looks like this. And you've got lots of other controls you can do here, and it's fine, but it plays back from the beginning. And if you wanted to play back from some other measure, you have to go here and put in the exact measure, this kind of thing. So it's a little bit awkward and slow to do it that way. So here's a workaround. You just turn that off. You go to this selection tool again by hitting escape. You'll see it goes right there. And then you can simply do one of two things. You can either select a measure and then hit space bar and click, and it will start on that measure wherever you are, right? But if you want to play back at a speed of your cursor, so it's more like just out of time, the way you might sort of be checking voicings or something on piano, then what you do is you do Option plus space bar, and it will play back from wherever your cursor is. And you can move at any speed, the speed of your cursor, and check things. Okay, that's it for this video. Hopefully this is helpful and will help you use this template to do your various composition and harmony projects.